Flexual Elements said, "Welcome back everyone to E6E. Today we're going to be reviewing the more magical mods and how they work and then upgrade both of our arse stuff. How are you T? Oh day Mr. God."
DTS really don't know what to do with that. I'm very good, thank you. Are you also good? Right, let's get into it. So our first one on the list is Ars Nouveau, whatever the hell you pronounce it. Nouveau is the way I pronounce it. I will say up front that Flexer is the one that has done 90% of this. I have helped out a little bit, but not much. I've known about the mod, but she seemed to enjoy it, so I was happy for her to do it. Yeah, I'm explaining it just purely because it's easier for me to than her. She will chime in if I get something wrong or whatever. I suppose we start at the beginning. There's multiple different generation stores. So the primary component is called source. In it, you have to generate source to do certain mechanics, including making new spells, using a glyph press, which is this little thing here. You combine a couple of items to make a glyph. You also have an enchanting setup, which we'll get there in a second. But so this is a agronomatic source link, which essentially generates source based off stuff growing. When stuff grows, it produces source. You then harvest it all, and then it can continue to grow. Artificially growing it by bone meal and stuff does not work. It has to be naturally grown to generate source. You can do a bigger plot than this. We just did this as a temp measure because we didn't really want it to be here. We're moving everything eventually. There's a relay which allows for longer distance transfer of source. There's a ritual blazer here, which is something in a minute. This is a volcanic source link, which is my favorite device because it can turn all of those lovely trees that are over there, the green, the red, the purple, can turn all of them, the wood, directly into source. A stack will fill like 1.5 of these. They're quite efficient. We can also speed them up using time in a bottle. The source jars are what hold the source. That then gives you over to the enchanting apparatus. There's a core beneath it, arcane core, and then the enchanting apparatus, load of pedestals. So the pedestals, essentially, you put stuff on the pedestals. You then have a middle object that you put inside. That then uses some source to generate the item that you want. We found it's been very heavily used. It's a magical crafting table, yeah. We found it's been very heavily used in pretty much most of the stuff we've had to do. One of the very first things you get into, and one of the things we've used the most. There's a scribes table over here, which can be used for various different purposes, including copying between books and various other stuff. I know there is other purposes, not quite sure on them. As I said, the glyph press, which makes glyphs. I'll show you a glyph on my screen. Glyph would be like one of these. Glyph firework, for example. Yeah, they're basically our spells and how they work. We do have various different spells. There's also the book, where we have a level 2 book. You need level 1 for level 1, level 2 to do the lower and constant tier. So you cannot do a level 2 glyph unless you have the level 2 book, is essentially what it is, and level 3 to level 3. We have all sorts of nice spells available to us right now. A speed one, which we can run around like crazy. I have a shield spell, which gives me a magical shield. It's somewhat effective. A harm spell, which I will not demonstrate because the last time I did it nearly killed her. We've got a big heal spell. I've got one called Heal and Run. You want me to do it on you, really? Stop moving. So it does half her health. I've done it. I've hit you already. Feels nice to hit a woman for a change. I'm joking. I'm joking. Don't have enough mana amount. I used a lot of mana. That spell is very hyped up. If you have this spell by default, it's very low damage. It's like half a heart. It's barely worth using. This one has got multiple amplifiers on it, which does make it do a lot of more damage. Am I missed anything? Is there anything else? That's the briefest of overviews. We'll try not to go too in depth. Yeah, there is probably other stuff. There's other source links for generating. There's one for potions. There's all sorts of crap. But the ones that why would you make the one that's hard when you don't need to? Do you know what I mean? Eidolon, I guess. Eidolon's a bit of a weird one. I don't fully understand how it works. It's kind of like a I'm gonna summon the god kind of one where you're like you pray to the Dark Lord for more knowledge, yeah. And various stuff. There's like a sacrifice component of it. There has been some useful things. There's like some in ash that you can put down on the ground that physically blocks mobs from crossing it. That's kind of cool. Kind of acts like a barrier. There's like a whole soul crystal thing that you have to get to do some crafting in E6E. So we've had to do this to get that kind of content. There is more than likely a lot more to this that we are not seeing. Where is? I'm just looking for the quest thing. So under Eidolon, yeah. So there is kind of like sanguine items. There's a soul enchanter. There's the Reaper Scythe, which allows you to get the crystals easier. There's a magic workbench. I don't actually know if Eidolon is that complex, you know. I think it may be just this basic. But that's about all we know. Unless you got something to add? Yeah, so in this pack, some of the items are a massive pain to get. Yeah, like the Elder Statue. Which requires the Petal Buffberry from Britannia, requires gold inlays, aquamarines, Heart of the Sea, unholy symbols, Elder Guardian spines, which only come from Elder Guardians. I was lucky enough that she managed to hunt all that down. I did not have anything to do with it. She's done a lot of the legwork, which is funny because her legs have to travel farther than mine. Little shorty. Right. That's about all we know of Eidolon. There's a brazier, which is to do with the summoning ritual thing. Nature's aura, natural aura, I guess. Nature's aura. This is one of the first things that you have to do. I think it's called something of the forest. Can't remember. It's called something of the forest. Ritual of the forest. That's it. So ritual of the forest, where you essentially have to put items on each of these pillars, these stands. Then you have a tree, a specific tree in the middle. You grow the tree, and it then gives you an item. Why do you always have to destroy stuff? This is the worst part of this was gold powder. The gold powder comes from gold leaves. Gold leaves was a pain to get as well, because you have to get brilliant fiber. Brilliant fiber was sun metal, which is fairly easy, and silk fiber. Silk fiber comes from silk moths, we made the mistake of putting a silk moth nest outside of the area that we were in. They just kept on spawning and spawning and spawning and spawning and spawning, and there was fucking hundreds of them that we didn't know. There is another couple of mechanics to this. There is, yeah, she's put it all in a box. I haven't actually been over it yet. There's actually this nice box that's probably got 1 million of them in. No? Interesting. Oh, do they? Fail. 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 Jesus, how many are in there? Well, I didn't expect. I suppose it's all they're all summoning. We do need quite a lot of this stuff, so not necessarily a bad thing. Right, let's carry on. Yeah, while we have loot 100, I literally got like 100 out of that. So another part of nature's aura is the nature's aura altar, which is a nice little fluffy thing. You have to put items on the top of this pedestal, and it basically infuses the object with aura from nature. We did find out I cannot see my aura because I haven't got the item, but she can. I don't have to put it. Yeah. So top left, aura found, aura around, like 95%. We found that this item, she made this Herberus Absorber, lets you turn, I think it's flowers, right? It's like flowers into aura. Like the further you go from the altar, the less aura there is. Nice. And sparkle means it's full. Yeah. There is also a I'll give you this back. There's also another version of this in the Nether. There's no point in showing you, it's exactly identical, but essentially it's a red version of this, which is needed for other things. I believe there might be one for the end as well. We haven't got that far. But it's essentially just a crafting component type thing. There is also a gods, there's like a ritual of the gods type doodad with a table over here. We don't really know much about this stuff. There's an offering table, you have to like offer to the god, and it will change an item to another item. That's about all about nature's aura we know. Britannia, something I do know a reasonable amount about, is essentially mystical flowers. The mod she hates, I don't know why she hates it, but it's essentially you turn flowers. Flowers generate mana based on what it is. There's like endotherms, which will turn coal and stuff. Then there's an exotherm. You know, there's one that will take explosions from TNT and literally make a mana out of it. There's one that will eat. This is one of them. So got this thing. Literally eats stuff and turns it into mana. You cannot feed it the same stuff repeatedly because it will eventually stop generating as much mana. You have to kind of feed it different stuff, and it also generates more mana based on what you feed it. The higher tier food, the more it will feed. This is a mana spreader. It's essentially a way of transferring mana between objects. This is a runic altar. I had that. Ignore what's on the table. I just had some of them and I wanted to get rid of them. Turns out that's how you make runes. This is a botanical brewery. It used to make several things. It can be used to make potions and flasks. It can also be used to make certain specific items like necklaces and crap like that. Same basic principle. Pure daisy is what is used in the base game to turn logs, standard like oak logs, into the Britannia version and stone into the Britannia version. The problem with this is it doesn't work like that for us. We have to get a very specific item to do that. It's rather annoying. It's like a 3-step process. Petal Apothecary, you take the petals, mix them into different stuff, and that gives you flowers and various other stuff. Again, expert mode. You come over here, these are all the different flowers, different colored petals. These are all of the different ones in the game. These can be multiplied. If you take a flower and then use bone meal on it, it will grow into a tool version. You can then use shears and break it, and it will essentially give you 2 of that thing. So you can duplicate petals once you have all of them. You can just duplicate indefinitely. You can also use a special blend, I think it's called floral fertilizer, which is a mix. Would you like to demonstrate? I don't have any shears on me. No. There's no wassets in there anyway. There's something called floral fertilizer, which allows you to actually create them. We don't have any bone meal. I don't have any bone meal on me. There should have been some in here, but there isn't. It doesn't matter. It's not really worth showing. But yeah, there's more to this, but that's essentially it. Occultism, I guess. So occultism starts here. Random purple fire. You have to take a devil. It's not called a devil fruit. I can't remember what it's called now. Is it devil? No. No, it's not devil fruit. I can't remember what it's called. Demon's dream fruit. There we go. Close enough. You throw a demon's dream fruit on the ground and then set light to it, and it essentially makes this purple fire. Now, the reason our purple fire hasn't extinguished is I've got it on some netherrack, so it's just endless. You use this to make certain ingredients, purifying chalks, and various other stuff. We're going to have to go to the other world to see this. We'll never see it otherwise. So we need to go to a Tum. Annoyingly, this can only be done in this place. I believe you have to get a certain far before you do it. As you can see, I just nearly one-shot you. Get out! You killed it. That was my bad. Yeah. So this is sacrificial bowls and golden sacrificial bowls. You put objects on the outside areas. There has to be a very specific ritual. You see is chalk on the ground. Each chalk is changed based on the different rituals. This was the last one that we did. We haven't really got the capability of doing the higher one that we want to do because you need a very specific chalk for it, and we just haven't got access to it yet. Fuck knows. The only problem with the mana from ours is once you run out of mana, if you don't wait for enough time to generate more mana, it just uses the mana. Nice. Yeah, so there's not much about occultism. It's basically a ritual-based thing where you summon certain mobs and various other stuff. Yeah, we don't know a huge amount more than that. Do you want to go back, and we will then there is more to this area, to the Atum area. Do like pharaohs and stuff's how we've got our weapons right now, and we're not wearing the armor, but there is like a melee armor variation. As a very brief stuff, the bosses can be pretty hard. I guess we're gonna go to blood magic next. Yeah, one of them apparently heals. She fought that guy on her own. Why am I not? Oh yeah. So blood magic. Out of most magic-based mods, this is probably one of my favorites. It allows you to do some funky stuff. It's all centered around this blood altar, which uses blood as a method of doing stuff. These runes on the ground are what increase its power. There's something called a dagger of sacrifice, which one hits mobs and puts blood into the altar. There's also a self-sacrifice dagger that you can use to generate, sorry, not mana, it's used to generate blood by taking your own blood. Slit your wrists, yeah. You gotta be careful you don't kill yourself, by the way. It does count as a player death. There's an alchemy table which uses orb, so the blood essence, the raw essence comes from blood orbs. Stop doing it, you don't need to do it. You have to make this, so this whole room has to be bigger and bigger and bigger. This is actually the max size that we need to do. Tier 4, I think, is the max size it goes up to. I don't believe that Tier 5 is in this pack. One, two, three, four. Oh, no, there is. There is a Tier 5. But we apparently don't need it to go past. I think this is the version where Tier 5 exists, but there isn't a need for it. Yeah, we're very close to getting Tier 5, and once we've got Tier 5, or Tier 4, sorry, we can move this whole setup. Yeah, it can be built anywhere. We have to build it here because restrictions that are placed on us from it being expert, which is rather annoying. There's a whole ritual type thing where you can do rituals for mobs and stuff using the blood. Think about it like a dark sorcerer type deal. That was not the smartest idea you've ever done. Yeah, that's why I don't do it. I have killed myself many a time with that thing. What else are we missing? Anything? Have a look at the... Oh, we haven't done Astral. Teleport home. Very brief. I'm going to very briefly go over Astral because we haven't got into it much right now. To the moon, yeah. So Astral, I won't bother going there, but Astral starts its journey essentially in temples, like one of these on the map that I'm looking at. Marble-based stuff with and it's all based on starlight. So this table, you'll notice, has got like 3/4 of its bar in starlight. We may be just very lucky where we are because starlight is a bit picky. Different areas of the world can have different things, different elevations make a difference. I've seen it where you can't get a lot of starlight unless you go up to the top. This is the level 1 table. It goes up like 3 or 4 levels. We may find that this is not enough starlight down here at ground level, and we actually have to put this on top of a tower or on top of a building or on top of a mountain to get any decent starlight. There is a way of like artificially increasing it using certain lenses and stuff for redirection. Again, we've not got into that yet. It's a crafting component for us right now. We should start advancing it really. But the like the table, starlight crafting table. To do the next step requires us to have a rune of mana. We do not have a rune of mana. Because the rune of mana requires a mana pearl that is made from the infused, which is something that we need to do from the energizing orb. That's literally our next step. We need to make an energizing rod, which we should be able to do. We need quartz enriched iron, which is an alloy kiln. We need compressed iron ingots, which is from Enigmatica, and nether quartz to make that. That's also for refined storage, so it's kind of a turmoil. But there's lots of like astrology and things like looking up at the sky and getting stuff. There's some rituals that you can do to give you certain passive increase effects. We can get into that at a later date. It's all right. It's as far as mods are concerned, I don't see this as being any worse than Britannia or anything called Blood Magic. In my eyes, they're all kind of similar. I guess you could call that, in my eyes, occultism is more annoying than this. I think occultism is 10 times more annoying, but here nor there. I'm not even sure this is linked, by the way. It doesn't seem to be put in any manner. I don't know if this is linked to that, because it just doesn't seem to be. We've cleared this field like 3 times, and it doesn't seem to be filling this up. You would like to fix that? I think you just connect one of them, right? Don't you just connect the source link to this? What's going on? Yeah, I think you can only connect one. I mean, you don't need to do this one, you know, like the volcanic. You don't need one to connect for the volcanic. The volcanic will just do stuff on its own. Right, so that's most of that. Do you want to? I don't think we've got anything else to talk about right now when it comes to mods. Do you want to try and make our books? Books and armor, yeah. Armor is more your territory, but I can help with the books. So we need to do a couple of Wilden fights. Is the first thing we need to do, unless you want to make the armor. Fight, yeah. I will meet you over at the fighting ground. Can you... I feel like we're better off removing our rings and putting our rings in our backpack, because I think the rings were messing up last time. The magnet ring. Just put it in the backpack. So that way it doesn't... Because last time I tried to summon stuff and I'm pretty sure it sucked it straight off the pedestal. Are you ready? Should. Why did you not summon? Does it summon these first? Do you have to have one of each? Can you give me those? I thought you could do it with any three. Maybe you can't. Try again. Oh shit. Yeah, that was it. Get it. Get it with fire. Yeah, let's wait. You can't damage him at all when he's in this. That's one. Have you got any of those horn things left? I'm gonna have to go back and make another one anyway. Well, you need to make another need to make us another summon Wilden tablet, which is an Archwood log, one of each of the things, and a Velvet Fortune. It should be in the R's box. Just make us another one of them. Don't make more than one, because we don't have a lot of Velvet left. We've wasted like 3 of these doing this because we messed up the thing. The item you need to make is called the Tablet of Summon Wilden. But all of the stuff is in the R's chest. The teeth. Horns. We do. We definitely do. We have like 30 or 60 of each. Yeah. So just bring back a couple of the spike, like one spike. Just need one spike and then the tablet. I remember him doing that last time. like skipping steps. Like when did he do that? Dude, I don't even know. I know it's a cave, but I don't want to. Made like a mana wall there. Right, teleport home. We should have enough to do it now. Right, so you need those two. That should be enough to make it. Give us the tier 3 book. And we can then learn the tier 3 spells. You need my armor. Got it. I just sped it up. Helmet. We've got legs. Got chest. Yes, this is. Mage weave, yeah, you need wicked weave, the orb, battle damage. Bit of a pain. The boots for me. Okay. Not enough mana. You mean mana? We need mana. Yeah, hang on. I can fix that. Just don't stand near it unless you've got your magnet ring off still. Giving it a load. I don't know how much you needed. Is that enough mana or source, or do you need more? We've got some more logs that we can put on it. Yeah, we're going to need to re-enchant all of this. If you want to run away for a sec, I'll throw some more mana on it. A sec. Wait. Let's burn it all. Yeah, you got 3 full source jars. That's like 4 stacks of wood. And you can just grow this wood endlessly. So like I don't know why you'd do it any other way. You just put another 4 source jars around this and you'd have double the capacity. They're not even that hard to make. It's nice, kept my colour. I was thinking it was going to change it. Is this max? This armor? I mean, there's something called Pyromancer's robes, which are technically higher tier than what we're using, or Acromancer's robes, or Geomancer's robes, or Ethermancer robes. It's Ars Arsenal, which is an add-on to it. It would be interesting to know. You just crashed.
Flexial Elements said, memory issue.
Want to call that episode there?
Cut it here, I guess.
Okay. Goodbye, everybody.
Thanks for watching everyone, and we'll catch you in the Flex 1.